I know
No.
exactly where you're coming from.
Humble. He said similar. He didn't say the same.
Yeah.
He said similar.
Okay, I know similar and same aren't synonymous. I know that. But similar, right? Equate to um shared qualities, right? So when he say similar, right, he's speaking similarly because we were speaking about, because the conversation y'all are having, though y'all were literally using words like real life and made up or imaginary, like what Roy Chess was saying, you always having the conversation along the same lines as me and him was having, versus theoretical math and counting in real time. That was our conversation. And what I was explaining to him is, when you do theoretical math, it don't overlap with reality because it's theoretical. We can make anything up in theoretical. That's why we have impossible numbers. There's no such thing as an impossible number in reality, because if it was a real thing, then it wouldn't be called the impossible number. We don't call things that
I think it's
are
an imaginary
possible
number.
impossible.
It's not impossible. It's imaginary. I think
An
you mean.
imaginary number. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, Roy. That's an imaginary number, right? And so we don't call things that are based in reality imaginary.
No, but the reason why there's an imaginary number is because certain equations won't work without it. Right? Certain science equations won't work without it. So that's why there's an imaginary number.
And
There's no specific number that will make the equation work. So they came up with an imaginary number.
and that's crazy, because where imaginary numbers in real life?
They do.
I'm just going to say we imaginarily sold 10,000.
Physics uses it.
Oh boy.
Physics uses it a lot.
Say
I
what?
think the Schrodinger's equation uses an imaginary number.
Hey, Roy Chess,
equation.
we imaginarily have 2,070 viewers watching this stream right now.
There's no way. What do you mean? Like right now?
Right now, in imaginary land, we got 2,007 viewers watching the stream right now.
Repeat that number. You said 2,000 or 200?
2,007
2,000
people. Yep.
From where?
From imaginary land.
Oh, okay. I thought you was being serious for a second. I thought you meant like streaming somewhere else, like besides your YouTube.
But see, that's the same concept, right? I can theoretically say it.
Yes, you can. Now I took it as a literal, like you were streaming it somewhere else. I didn't get it, but I got it now. I mean, that's crazy. What platform are you streaming on? Like what? You got me for a second.
You guys are funny, man. Very funny.
That's crazy.
So, hey, Humble, can you chime in what this gentleman was saying, Roy, about logic?
You said chime in what he was saying about logic.
Mm-hmm.
So Roy Chess' position is a logical explanation is not always a truthful explanation. So yes, you can have logic behind your premise, but just because you have logic behind your premise don't make your premise true, which is a factual analysis, right? Just because something is logical don't make it true, right? There's a lot of things that's in theoretical physics that is logical, but that don't make it true, right? And so this is what his position is on logic versus reality, right? Me and him the other day was talking about how you can start from an illogical premise or a premise of fallacy and get to a conclusion of truth.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's what he was talking about. That's what he be talking about.
Well, listen, logic. All right, let me ask you this. Can you use logic to break down information?
You asking me or you asking Roy Chess?
No, I'm asking you, humble. I've had this
Oh, okay,
conversation with
me.
Roy already.
Uh-huh.
Roy, I know Roy's position. I just want to know your
Oh,
position.
okay. Can you use logic to break down information, to grasp information, or to understand the concept of certain information? Is that a better way of putting it?
Yeah, understand the concept of
Yes.
what the information is trying to give you.
Right. Yeah. I would agree with that.
Right.
Logic is a
So,
way of grasping that.
right, Roy. So, what was you talking about?
Yeah, my only
According
comment.
to Roy, hold on, humble. According to Roy, I'm not in a position to use logic to break down information because I'm not trained.
Well, also because I just told you why. Roy Chess believes that just because you come from a place of logic. Hold on 1 second. Okay, bet. Shout out to the brother Suave Boss. You already know. Shout out to the brother. They over there watching. We streaming to his platform. That's an amazing brother right there. You know, big to the community. Shouts out to the brother. Shouts out to the brother. We appreciate you, Brody. Um, most definitely, most definitely. Um, dang, what I'm saying. I was saying, um, so Royce don't believe just because something is logical that it is correct. And so you're coming from so what he's doing to you is attacking your position of presupposition that because something is logical that it is correct. Right now you have to defend the fact that if something is logical, then it must be correct. Or you could say, well, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is logic is one tool of correctness in reality that we use. I mean, however you want to frame it, bro. I ain't framing your premise for you or nothing.
Yeah, I get that, man, but he's not saying any of that. What he's saying is, I'm not qualified to use logic to break down the information because I'm not trained.
I didn't say you were not qualified. I don't know, but let me take that back. If I did say that, that's a misunderstanding. I didn't mean it in that context. I mean that if you have no training, there's no way for you to verify if your reasoning is correct or not. So without that, that's why I asked you about a life and death type of reasoning situation. How would you know if the reasoning you're using is correct without the principles? And the answer is you wouldn't.
Humble?
Right, but that's literally what I keep telling you. Why are you saying humble? I'm telling you the same thing he telling. Hey, you gotta prove to him, or you have to show. If I could screen share if you like anything, but you have to show him that anytime we use the tool logic, that it results in a correct conclusion. He's saying that there's sometimes you can come from a place of logic, and even if you come from a place of logic, your conclusion is incorrect. You have to show where that's not the case. Or you have to put the burden of proof on him. Ask him to show you when that's the case.
Yeah, but I already said to the man that, listen, based on the information that is presented to me, that's what I will use to break down or to come to the conclusion, basically, whether the information that's in front of me is right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
what is
Roy
that based
Chess
on?
got. So me and Roy Chess was we was actually again talking about. So we was talking about objective and subjective, right? And we was talking about if your subjective understanding of the world is factual, and if that is true, then when somebody come and update your perception of the world, then that mean that your premise wasn't factual in the first place. And me and him went roundabout. And the example we used is, say if I lived in Antarctica, right, with only white swans, right? Now, because I live in Antarctica with only white swans, if I've only seen white swans in my life, I believe only white swans exist, right? Now, this is my logical premise. Only white swans exist. Why do only white swans exist? Because growing up in my life, I've only seen white swans. Very logical conclusion, right? However, brother Roy Chess come to me one day with a black swan. And I say, hey, brother Roy Chess, what's that? And he say, oh, brother Humble, it's a black swan. Now, was my information that I already had about swans, was that correct or incorrect?
It was incorrect. But
Okay.
let me
But
just say
it was
this.
logical.
Fair enough. But let me just say this. The white man can do it basically with science and say, "Oh, I've come to this conclusion, but tomorrow I'm gonna look into it some more and tell you something else," and you buy that. But when I present you with information and you haven't even brought anything to dispute my information, but yet still you say, "No, what you bring in is not." How do you know it's right? Excuse me.
No, I think you missing what Roy Chess is saying. Roy Chess is saying just because you're arguing from a position of logic does not make your conclusion correct. That's his position. So you can
Yes.
come and say, okay, well, this is based in realism, this is based in realism, this is based in realism, and realism is logical. Okay, all of that's fine and dandy. But I can also go in realism and show where illogical things also show to be correct and logical things are shown to be incorrect. And so if this is a truth, then you'll have to come back and show me where every time I use logic, I get a correct conclusion.
Well, you see, you're talking on based on assumptions. You haven't shown anything to say. Basically, this is what I mean. I get what you're saying, but it doesn't hold no water in this court because again, we were going on absolutes, and with absolutes, you can use if I break down information until you prove me wrong. Yo, we don't have to be sitting here talking about whether I'm right or wrong. No, bring your information to prove me wrong, and then yeah, we go from there. But you can't say, oh, because you use logic, that means that there's some doubts about it. Basically, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be right. What if it's right?
Yeah, if it's right, you could be lucky. But without a constant principle to follow, it's you. Sometimes you're going to be right. Sometimes you're going to be wrong. That's the point. That's why there's a set system of how to do it. It's not just freestyle.
So you're not going to give me no credit by for me breaking it down. You're going to tell me it's I might be lucky.
Yes.
No,
Well, I
No.
mean,
If you can't
no,
repeat it
I
multiple
broke
times,
it down, brother. Nobody
yeah.
did it
But you
for
gave
me.
me all right. So even if you do one, if you get one right, can you do 10 in a row? Right, and because then that shows me that you don't have a steady principle, that you're just freestyling, that you're winging it, you're making it up as you go. That's not logic. That's just you guessing.
Well, bring
Logic is a
something, and
structure.
I'll do 10 in a row for you.
If you do 10 in a row, then I'll ask you to do maybe a few more, and then I'm gonna ask you what's the system that you're using, right? Because then you've shown consistency, and then I can just ask you what. See, the thing what logic deals with is inference rules, right? Without inference rules, there is no logic. That's how you make a derivation. That's how you break things down. I can start with this statement and I derive that statement. So without inference rules, you're not going to be able to do that consistently. And there are names for the inference rules. That's why I'm telling you that you need to be trained in it. You have to know the names of those inference rules and how those inference rules work. That otherwise you could guess right, and you guess right 10 times in a row, but you're not going to be able to do that successfully 100% of the time. Maybe you did it 50% of the time, 80% of the time, but it's never going to be 100%. And that's the issue with science. And Humble and
All
I
right,
have
so
had that.
let me
Had
just
that.
say this, Royce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so would you say that it's logical that giants walked this earth?
I wouldn't say it has anything to do with logic. That has to do with practicality, being
What?
real. Like that. That's something that's practical. Whether someone existed or not, or how tall they were, that's a practical observation. That has nothing to do with logic. Logic is about making inferences and derivations and doing
Well,
it
right now
correctly.
we don't have evidence of that. So I'm asking you logically, using your brain, using maybe I don't know, I'm using logic wrong. I doubt it. But logically using your brain, do you think giants walked this planet?
It's possible. I can't rule it out, right? Because I have no evidence either direction. Right? To say that there's no evidence, therefore it doesn't exist, that's not logical.
Okay, so that's beautiful. But so let me just say this then. If I say to you that there is evidence that giants did walk this place, and I prove to you, or I tell you the evidence, what are you going to say? Am I lucky, or does logic work the way I broke it down? I mean, what
If
would
you,
you
like I
say?
said, if you can't do it consistently, depending on different subject matters, right? You're gonna need inference rules to do that, right? So if you cannot do it consistently, I would test your logic allegedly with different scenarios. And if you can continually get the right answer using your logic, then yes, you're not lucky. You have a system, and you know
Then
the inference.
rather than saying that, oh, maybe your logic isn't, you might be right or you might be wrong. I think the best thing you should have done was think of some scenarios and test my logic. That would be the best thing to do. And if I've gone through your logic, then you have your answer right there, rather than coming and saying, oh, we don't know if your logic is right or at the end of the day or wrong. I mean, that's neither
Without
here nor
inference
there.
rules, you won't know. Without inference rules, you won't know.
So
And
that's
if you
what I'm
don't know,
saying. You should have come with. You should have came with something that would test that, because without that, there's no way of you knowing whether my logic is right. But then I've already proved to you that my logic is right, because I've just asked you about the giants and you've concurred. So therefore, that's proof that my logic
that's not
works.
proof.
And so
No,
therefore, and also that I've debunked some of
you
what you
didn't
guys are
debunk
saying by
anything.
saying
All
we've
you
been
did
here
was get something
3,000
right.
100 million billion years and whatever. You know what I'm saying? As in we, the civilization that we are today.
Yeah, but you didn't debunk anything. You just happened to get lucky. Like I said, you have no inference rules to even name. Like if I ask you, how did you go from point A to point B? You just say, well, I just thought about it. You don't even know the inference rules.
Well, no, sir. No, sir.
So that means you got
No,
lucky. Like you can get
no.
lucky 80% of the time, but you'll never be 100%.
Oh, God, man.
That's
Come on,
what
boy.
logic
What are
deals
you
with,
doing, man?
right? That's
Boy,
what proper
what
logic
you want?
deals with.
What you want, Roy? Blood?
And I don't even like to say the word logic because it's improper, right? When people use the word logic today, they mean mathematical logic, right? So they don't. All logic is not mathematical, right? I don't know if you know that or not, but it's a shortcut for saying mathematical logic, right? I don't know if you know that, but there's no such thing as logic. Logic is not a monolith. There's different logical systems, many logical systems, right? So one logical system may be different from another. So the inference rules are different, right? So when people say logic, it's just because they hear people say it and they're just repeating stuff. It's a lot of misinformation going on.
Okay, if you say so, man. But I'm telling you, whatever's presented to me, I use my logic to break it down. And therefore, and again, I will use the Bible again as an example. This is about the whatever
Yeah, but you
time.
have no
So
inference
it's
rules. You have no
say
way
what?
to convince inference rules or convent, to you have no way to establish that the inference rules you're using work 100%. So you can get it to work. It's not the issue of getting it to work some of the time. Can you do it all the time? Then you can
Yes,
say you have a logic. And
yes,
you're
I
right
could do
all
it
the
all the
time.
time.
You can do it right all the time. You do it
All the
correctly
time.
all the
Yes.
time. Okay. But you have no
Yeah.
inference
So
rule.
far, I've been doing it, and so far, yeah, all the time until such time when maybe I can't. But so far, yeah, all the time.
Oh, you're just lucky.
I don't call that luck because,
Of
hey,
course you
listen,
won't.
everything I have to look into things before I can have some kind of knowledge. You have to go by knowledge first and foremost before you can be able to get the wisdom to be able to decipher what's the right knowledge and what's the wrong knowledge, basically. So yeah, it takes thinking and it takes strategic thinking. It's not just
What you're telling me though is just you're freestyling. Because
no,
like if
sir.
you understood what logic is, mathematical logic is, it's about it's not about the content, it's about structure of the argument, how it is formed using the connectives, right? And there's a specific way to do it. You can't just do what you want. It's not involving research and reading and grabbing dictionaries and definitions. It's not about that. That if you are online right now and you go into to Google and type in mathematical logic, you'll see that it's about structure and form. That it's not about English sentences and English words. That they sometimes use symbols only, so it's not even in a readable language because they're dealing with so-called logic, not content, right? So if I asked you about like reparations or something, you might have some knowledge about the word reparations and whether we should get it or not, and such and such. If I ask you about capital punishment, you might have some knowledge about that. But when you look at mathematical logic in its formal sense, there are no English sentences there. All you will see is symbols, letters, and some logical connectives. And I don't think you understand that part. There's a system to it. It's not about what I know. It's how does the system work, right? As far as the content, it's not about content, right? Debates are different. Like the most debates are only about content, and there's another side to it. There's a structural side, and then there's a content side. And what I offer, at least on this platform when I speak, is people should be aware of there's a structural side, a skeleton side of how to form an argument correctly. This has nothing to do with researching the topic, right? I don't know if I'm making myself clear here. Do you understand what I'm saying now?
Of course, I understand what you're saying, but do I agree with what you're saying? No. But I
Why would you
understand fully what
disagree?
you're saying, yes.
So why would you disagree?
Because again, you're going around about trying to say that logic is just confined to maths. And I disagree with that. Logic is
No,
just
no,
logic.
I didn't.
Thinking.
No, I said a specific type of logic deals with math, and that one is called mathematical logic, and it is part of math. So I'm not
Yeah,
saying
but
all logic
I'm
is
not
math.
dealing with mathematical logic. I'm not dealing with that at all.
Yeah, but what logical system are you dealing with then?
Brain power, thinking.
Just thinking. Ah. But then there's no checks and balances to what you think, right? There's no checks and balances that you could end up being wrong. Now, if you were a leader in a, let's say, a military group or something like that, and you make a wrong decision, you can cause people to be harmed, injured, or unalived. Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Right. So how would you know that the decision that you're making for the group, you included, is correct? How would you ensure that the people that are looking up to you that this is the right decision, that it's so-called logical? What would you say to them?
Because it will be logical based on the information that I have in front of me. Simple. I'm going
Yeah,
off of the
but you
information.
have the same
That is
information they
presented to
have,
me.
right?
Yes.
All right. So if three of the people underneath you disagree with your conclusion, what happens? Walk me through that.
Then they'll have to tell me why they disagree. And you know what I mean? It's as simple as that.
No, they tell you why. So what happens? Like if they tell you why, and you could still override them, right? You still might do that, right? Like, yeah, okay, I hear you, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do my way anyway, right? Is
That's
that
what
what
you're
you're gonna
assuming.
do?
You're
No, no,
assuming that. You're
no.
assuming
I'm asking you that. I'm asking you that. I'm not assuming that. I'm asking you that because we already know that it happens a lot. A lot. I would say more than 50% of the time, that's what happens. That the leader is just gonna do what he wants anyway, even if people tell him that I think it's wrong or they disagree with him. He still be like, I rank you and do what he wants. But so I'm asking
well,
you, how would you handle that in that situation? They give you
well, I
three
just
people give you reasonable objections why they think you're going the wrong way. How would you now decide what to do? Because now there's your way and there's three other ways that people are suggesting. How now you have four ways to consider. Which way do you choose?
okay. So therefore, there has to be decisions on the table. So I look at it like this: if the four people or three people, however many people, are all saying the same thing, then I have to look at that very strongly. If they're saying different things, then I have to look at them individually. Basically, it's just using your logic to break down the information that's in front of you. It's as simple as that, my G.
Yeah, so now you have three other contentions to deal with outside of your own. So what do you do? I'm asking you how to walk me through it. How do you dismiss somebody's evaluation? Like they tell you what it is. Let's say ABC, whatever it is. How do you dismiss it? Because you still have four choices to make, and you're only going to be able to make one. So you have to eliminate three, right? Eventually, you're going to have to eliminate the other choices, no matter how many
Of
you have.
course.
Even if it was just two, one of them has to be eliminated, right?
Hmm.
So how do you eliminate the choices? That's what I'm asking. Using your logic. They're
Well,
all
well,
reasonable now. They're all reasonable, right? They're all possible. How do they all have a high percentage, let's say, of being correct. How do you now go about making the decision?
well. Again, it's like this. If I feel strongly that my decision is correct, and I examine the rest of the choices and they're just as strong as mine, then we're gonna have to break up battalion. And then if we're all ending up at the same place, then we just have to take different routes, basically. And you look out for yourself, basically, because you believe in your choice, so go for it. It's as simple as that. But if it's a collective thing, then we're gonna have to put the situation on the table and say, yo, we're gonna have to make a vote. You know what I'm saying? And whatever choice is the strongest, basically, we
You
try that
mean
as a unit.
so you mean vote like in like everybody gets an equal vote? Like if
Well,
it's
yeah, of
seven,
course.
if it's 7 out of 10, that way gets whoever gets 7 out of 10 gets their way.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it will have to be based on logic, not on emotion. If it's logic,
Yeah,
then yeah.
yeah, but what I'm saying is that if you're just putting it up to vote, that's not necessarily logic, right? Because
Yeah,
if you
it
have
is
four
logic.
choices, you have four choices, and somebody, let's say Humble gets 7 out of 10, he's the highest number, so we're just gonna go with his. And
No, 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 no,
okay,
no.
so
We're not doing it like that in terms of humble gets 7/10 and one gets 8. No, there's three opinions on the table, basically. So, or four, five, what have you. If let's say four of them are the same opinion, or three of them are the same opinion, then we look at it basically because they're the same opinion. So obviously that's going to be just as strong as my opinion, basically. So we're going to break it down between us, basically, and then we're going to go logically with the what. Eventually, we'll come up with something and logically move accordingly. But
Yeah,
if
but you
it's separate, let's just say two have one opinion and then one somewhere else and there's another somewhere scattered, basically, then to me, the two, we have to deal with the two and say, yo, why are you two thinking this way, XYZ? And we look at the two. It's just, I mean, come on.
yeah,
It's
so
based
you
on the
still
information that's in front of you. That's, I keep saying that.
yeah,
Simple.
but you're still avoiding the if it's 50-50. Like you could be right, you could be wrong. 50-50. In other words, both more than your option is has the same weight.
Right.
You're not-
What up, y'all? Let me just take this time really fast to shout out to the brother Suave Boss, you know, for allowing us to stream to his channel. I know my brother coming out of Gary, Indiana. Let's get it going, you know, Suave Top Titan. I also want to shout out some people in the comments. We see Brother Milk Dud in the comments. We see Sister Hey Goddess in the comments. We appreciate y'all engagement. Y'all already know. And of course, we got our brother Roy Chess. He be on the panel and in the comments. We appreciate your double engagement, brother Roy Chess. And so with that, we're going to take a real quick word from our sponsors, and then we're going to let y'all get back to it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it.
This Saturday, March 14th, the Battle of Truth, the clash of intellects, Leandre McBride versus Elder Yara. Can Elder Yara, the seasoned veteran with decades of debate experience, prove he's an Israelite using only scripture? Or will Leandre, the brilliant PhD scholar, dismantle his claim with razor-sharp logic and scholarly precision? It's a high-stakes debate where faith meets knowledge and history is on the line. Two giants, one question. Can Elder Yara prove his Israelite identity through the word? This is a battle you don't want to miss. Tune in to Titans Debate League and witness the ultimate war of words. Who's got the facts? Who will leave the other in the dust? The countdown to the debate begins now. Coliseum of arguments. Only the brave speak here. Are you not entertained? Let's pause the noise for a second, because if you're still here right now, you're already different. Not everyone gets this. Not everyone understands real debate, real scholarship, real intellectual smoke. But you do. This is Coliseum of Arguments. This is Titans Debate League. And what happens here doesn't survive on algorithms. It survives on the people who believe in it. When you support through Cash App, you're not just donating. You're fueling the arena. You're the reason we can bring in high-level guests. You're the reason we keep unbiased judges. You're the reason these debates stay sharp, fair, and uncompromised. This platform is built by thinkers, sustained by supporters, protected by the ones who know value when they see it. If this show has ever sharpened your mind, has ever entertained you, or has ever challenged what you thought you knew, then Cash App is how you say, keep this going. Not everyone contributes, but the ones who do, they're part of what makes this real. Coliseum of Arguments, Titans Debate League, powered by the people who get it.
Most definitely. Shout out to the brother A1 as always for giving us such a powerful platform so we can come out here and, you know, lift our voices, you know, express to the people. And so we're gonna get back to brother Roy Chess and brother Kojo. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it.
So real quick, are you one of those case by case scenario thinkers?
Yeah, case by case, yes.
Instead of having a constant principle?
Concept of what?
A constant principle. In other words,
constant.
Yeah, constant. Like it's not case by case. So mathematical logic, for instance, is not case by case. There are constant rules that it uses to derive information, regardless of the case. But you're what they call freestyling because it's case by case. There is no constant.
Well, you cannot have anything constant because every case is different. So you have to approach it as such, or else you're going to
Why
have a
is every case
biased
different?
opinion
How
or
do
a
you know
biased
every case is
result.
different? How do you know every case is different? Have you experienced every case?
It's again, it's hey, listen. eh, You guys said it's thinking people that set up this platform, and I agree. You have to think. You can't just eat up everything that's been given to you. Even if they give you a set of rules, you still have to use your logic to um, I don't know, circumvent them rules
No,
and
it's not
navigate through the
authority. It's
rules.
not authority rules. It's not like my supervisor gives me the rules and then I just accept them. These are rules that have been demonstrated over time, over thousands of years or hundreds of years. It's not like, your boss gives you the rules and you have to accept it. It's something that is discovered by human beings and shared. It's not an authority situation where they're imposing you better do this or else. That's not the case here. Right. So when I
Well,
say constant rules, I don't mean like somebody in authority giving you rules.
no, I understand what you're saying, but I will say this. I mean, if something doesn't make sense, regardless of what it is, it doesn't make sense. And I will challenge it because I'm using my logic basically to break down the information for me to come to the conclusion that the information in front of me does not make sense or has some discrepancies in it.
Okay, so are you aware that you could experience something today and you use your logic and then a whole 10 years go by, the same situation happens, but now your logic gives you a different answer. How would you explain that? Because you're using your logic about the same event, but it's 10 years apart. Why is the answer different 10 years later from the one that was previous? Because that's what you're leaving yourself open to if you don't have a constant. That, I could say one thing today and then tomorrow I say something different. Or 10 years from now I say something different. It happens all the time with regular people. How would you answer that?
I said earlier, I deal with things case by case. That means that I will evaluate everything information by information. So as it's presented to me, that's how I break it down. I can't, go into the future and predict something that is going to happen 10 years from now. I
No,
just deal
no, I'm
with
not asking you to predict. I'm asking you if it's a hypothetical, right? Two things happen, right? One, let's say today you make a decision about capital punishment and you say you're against capital punishment. 10 years down the line, an event happens where capital punishment comes up again, and you and I have the same conversation, and yet now you say you're for capital punishment, or the opposite of what you said previously. So how am I supposed to take your logic? Because your logic gave me two different answers at two different times. Is your logic reliable?
Well, I could say the same for science then, if that's the case, because science
Yeah.
gives us a scenario and then 10, 20 years later it changes its mind again. I mean, are you
Yes.
questioning them?
Yes. The same way. The same thing applies.
Right. So then if that's the case, then why are you asking me? We're doing the same thing.
No, but I'm asking you because I didn't know that
I'm
was your.
using logic to break things down. You're using science.
I'm not using science.
Okay, mathematical practicality.
I'm not using something practical either.
Well, you said
I
mathematical
don't
then.
know
So
what
let's
you're
go
using.
with that.
I'm using logic, not you. You're telling me that you can use your logic to come up with something and then contradict it in the future, and you're saying it's okay, like it's not a problem. That should be a problem. That is not consistent. Like I would never tell you something like that. So because I'm logical, I have to remain consistent, unless I admit I was wrong. Right? That happens. People can be wrong about something. Like Roy, you said this 10 years ago. Okay, I was wrong. That's different. That's not to say that the logic didn't work. It's just I was wrong. I made a human error. But what you're saying is you're sounding like your logic is an absolute, but then it changes over time because it's a case by case basis. that doesn't sound reliable.
Hey, listen, you and Humble are good at putting, what I'm saying, stuff like words, speaking for people and stuff like that. Because I never said any of the things you said. But hey, it's all good. I never said that. Like you brought up the scenario and then you went with it.
Yeah, I'm asking because I asked you about the case by case. That's why I brought the scenario up, right?
And
Since
then you added the case by case.
no, that I asked you about
To
case
make
by
it
case
sound
first.
good.
No, I asked you about case by case first, and then I gave you the example because you believe in case by case. That's why I did that. I didn't do the example and then give a case by case. That would make no sense. I wouldn't know that's what you believed unless you told me that, right?
Okay.
You would have to tell me that for me to give you that example.
Right. Well, I'm gonna say this, Roy. I mean, look, again, I can't say enough. I use logic to break down information, and if the information is not adding up, then yeah, I'm gonna have to query it. Just like you said, if I say something today and then 10 years time I change my mind, that means there's a reason why I changed my mind. Whether I was wrong or the information changed, anything. But there will be a reason why I changed my mind, which is cool. I mean,
So what
yeah,
does that
but
say
it
about
still
your
boils down to
inferences?
the fact that I'm using logic to break down the information that is there.
Yeah, but why does your logic change? That is the issue.
I just said, I mean, I could be wrong, or the information that I had at the time could have changed as
Yeah,
we
but
went into the
that
future.
means your inferences are wrong, right? Your inference rules are wrong. That
Well,
means they're not reliable.
not necessarily, because I gave an answer based on the information that I had
Yeah.
in front of me.
So
So,
you made an incorrect inference. That's why you ended up giving the wrong answer, right? And then you changed it, right? So the inferences is the problem. It's not you thinking is the issue. It's the inferences that you're making. You're going from this statement to that statement. That process that it's called the inference, right? The inferences are not correct. That's why there are inference rules, and you don't know inference rules. So you're kind of freestyling.
right, this is a conversation. I don't believe you can win, because it's
It's
like
not about winning.
well, I mean, whatever it is you're trying to do, it's not going to work, because again, you just putting
You're not going
stuff
to donate to my charity? No, I'm joking. That's what this is all about.
together.
No, I'm
You're
joking.
funny. Yeah, man. Right. But it's all good, man. Listen, you're putting up a good argument, but it's just not good enough. That's all. But, it's cool. I mean, again, logic, I'm using your logic to debunk you.
No,
Um,
you're not.
yeah. Because that's all I have. I don't have anything else unless you bring something that you feel that you might be able to prove me wrong, you know what I mean? Then yeah, we can, you can go for it by all means. But I don't think you'll be able to find anything, because again, like I said, if something is got holes in it, it's got holes in it, and you have to break it up. It doesn't matter what principle you're using to break it up. You have to break it up and arrive at the right thing. Now, whether people agree with it or not, then that's up to the individuals. But you've broken it down. At least you're not going with the same wrong narrative that you've been given. Simple.
Yeah, but the issue that is the issue. The issue that I'm having a trouble explaining in a sense because I don't have uh, any examples or slides to show you, which I can
Hold
do.
on 1 second, Roy Chess. Hold on 1 second, Brody. I want to give a shout out to the brother Ill Doctrine. Thank you for giving a donation $9.99. Let's read this. It say logic is a system through which ideas are evaluated to identify and avoid thinking errors. Saying imlogical about implying thinking is only a manner of speaking that borrows credibility from logic. Illogical is about
No, I'm
simply
logical. I think
thinking
that's what.
is only a matter of speaking that borrows credibility from logic. What you was about to say about that?
No, I think he's saying I am logical. Like the I, he put the M too close to the logical.
Okay, got you.
I
Good
am
one.
logical.
And
Yeah.
logical about simply thinking is only a manner of speaking that borrows credibility from logic. Okay. Most definitely, most definitely. You know we appreciate you, brother. Hold on, let's give a Spartan Warfare. You know we love your engagement in the comments. We love your donations, brother. We appreciate you. Because of that, let me look real fast. Hold on. Let's get a word from our sponsors here, y'all. Let's get a word from our sponsors here. And shout out to brother Suave Boss once again. You know, hey, those Gary, Indiana folks, y'all. Listen, man, they some ride or dies. You
Is
know,
that a state?
Gary, Indiana, yeah.
That's the whip. That's the Boondocks.
That's the bone dogs. He said that's the bonies. It's a one doesn't use logic to break down information. Uh, what's the topic, Milk Dud? Roy Chess and Brother Kojo is talking about logic. You know, Brother Roy Chess is great with baiting people in of talking about logic. You know, he's good at that. Okay, it's a piece of love to the Tighten Up. You know, we appreciate you, Brother Milk Dud. And so with that, we're gonna go with a word about sponsors real quick, and then we're gonna let you brothers get back into it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
This Saturday, March 14th, the Battle of Truth, the clash of intellects, Leandre McBride versus Elder Yara. Can Elder Yara, the seasoned veteran with decades of debate experience, prove he's an Israelite using only scripture? Or will Leandre, the brilliant PhD scholar, dismantle his claim with razor-sharp logic and scholarly precision? It's a high-stakes debate where faith meets knowledge and history is on the line. Two giants, one question. Can Elder Yara prove his Israelite identity through the word? This is a battle you don't want to miss. Tune in to Titans Debate League and witness the ultimate war of words. Who's got the facts? Who will leave the other in the dust? The countdown to the debate begins now. Coliseum of arguments. Only the brave speak here. Are you not entertained?
Maintain your composure. Y'all can bang and go harder.
What up? What up? What up? Let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. I believe it was the brother Kojo that was speaking.
Yep.
Go ahead, brother Kojo. Let's get into it, Brody.
Yes, I. Yeah.
Oh, this
Roy,
the barbarian. Hold on, really fast, Coach. I don't mean to. Okay, shout out to the barbarians. We got the barbarians in the building. Okay, I got you. You said you listening at work. Okay, no problem, no problem. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, cut them up. We see you. Cut them up, court. Let's get into it. All right, go ahead, brother Kojo.
Yeah. Okay, let me do this right. Ladies and gentlemen, I got my brother here, Royce. He's talking about logic and how you have to have some kind of system to be able to break down information using logic. I mean, I'm here saying to my brother that listen, information can be broken down using logical thinking, should I say, and not no principle thinking, so to speak, because information, when you use your brain, you can decipher what the information is trying to tell you. And this to me is what I call logic, breaking down information with logic. My brother here says it's you need mathematics and going and principles and all these type of things that you need to break down logic. I disagree strongly because again, We're all thinking people. We all can decipher, information on on a basic level. So why can't we break down information? Why do we need a system to break down information? And so yeah, this is my stance in this conversation. Yeah, we don't need no principle or mathematics. I mean, there's a science to everything. I agree, but the science is the thinking, the logics. That's the science.
Can
And
you
yeah,
analyze this for me? Thank you for sharing the screen, Humble. Can you analyze this for me? What do you make of it? Does it make logical sense? Is this good reasoning or is it bad reasoning? Can you see
that
it?
that
Like
depends on who's reading it. To
you,
me,
I'm asking you.
yeah, to me, if you say all dogs are mammals and no cats are dogs, then it makes sense, logical sense that there's no cats that are mammals. Basically,
Okay, so
yeah,
you've established that the conclusion is true, right?
yeah,
Or the premise is true?
yeah.
Okay, so every statement that you see happens to be true, correct?
Not every statement, no.
Which statement is false up there? I'm talking about the
But
ones here, not every statement in the world. I'm talking about the ones I'm showing you.
yeah,
All of the statements are true, correct?
yeah.
Okay, and you think this reasoning is good?
Do I think it's good?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Do I think it's good? It is what it is.
So is this reasoning something that you would do in real life? You would apply in real life? Is this your logic? This is what you would come up with? If I'm giving you premise 1 and premise 2, would you come up with the conclusion that's listed there?
Well, you saw when you asked me, what did I do? I read it. I said all dogs are mammals, and if no cats are dogs, therefore no cats are mammals. Though it's a wrong premise, it's a wrong conclusion, but I believe, um, 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 according to this, yeah. Okay, according to
So tell
this,
me what you think. You think the conclusion is wrong?
no. According to this, it's right. Yeah.
So is this good reasoning or bad reasoning?
What's that got to do with anything? I'm talking about breaking down the information to see whether it's right or wrong.
That's
We've,
what we're doing.
we've established that
Isn't
this
that
is
what
right. So what
isn't that
else?
what we're doing?
Be an expert.
We're trying to break it down and establish if it's right or wrong, right? Now you are aware that there's a reason why I'm giving you this, right?
Of course, there's a reason to everything. So yeah,
Why do you think I'm giving you this?
because you want to prove a point.
Yeah, what point?
I don't really know, but
Oh, no, really fast, y'all. Really fast. If I can, really fast, y'all. So, Kojo, you had a conversation before you got to this point with Roy Chess. And before in the conversation I had with you, I literally broke down Roy Chess's position and his premise, right? And now he's diving into what his premise is, and you're acting like, man, you did not just have this conversation 30 minutes ago. His
yes,
premise is you can, even if you start from a faulty or illogical premise starting point, right, you can still get a accurate or factual conclusion. So the point he making by showing you this is, although premise 1 is false, premise 2 is false, but the conclusion is true.
No, the
yeah,
premises are
but that's
actually
not what
true.
we're talking about, though. We're talking
The
about
premises are actually true, Humble.
Huh?
The premises are actually
Premise
true.
2 is true.
And premise 1 is true. Both premises are true. And it turns out that the conclusion is true, actually. So
Hold
all
on.
of the statements are true.
Are cats not mammals? Am I missing something?
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, you're right. The conclusion is false. I'm sorry. Yes. I read it wrong, actually. So that
No,
was
no,
my
I
fault
got
there.
that wrong as well to
Yeah, I
start
read
off
it
with.
wrong.
So it's cool. But the point here is that we broke it down using logic, which is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but you have to tell me what's wrong with it.
No,
Outside of
I'm not saying that anything is wrong with it. I'm just saying that you use logic to break down. This is what I use, logic to break down information. So as you put this information here, I used logic to break it down, basically.
yeah, but I'm asking you what is the breakdown? So the fact that you already know that cats are mammals, is that how you broke it down? Because you started with that information before I gave you the example, right? You already knew that information.
Right.
So if so I can give other examples. I'm just giving you an example of a fallacy, and I want to see if
Right.
you could spot it. So yes, I'm giving you an incorrect argument, but I want you to break it down. What's wrong with it, other than you already having knowledge of the world that cats are mammals? Because
Well,
I
that's
can
the
I can
only
make it
obvious
I can
thing
make it
that,
I
that
can make
stands
it
out
that
to me.
all of the statements are true, and it will still be the same fallacy. I can give you a different example.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you a lot of examples of fallacies.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I mean by it's not intuitive. Like sometimes it's not intuitive, because if I give you something that you're not aware of, you're not going to be able to tell me right or wrong right away, because I can give you terms that you're not familiar with in the conclusion, so you wouldn't know.
But you see,
Well, hey
this
Roy
is the
Chess,
point, though.
you can't make presuppositions like that, because
Right.
he might use certain terms and he might do know those terms.
No, I can
Right.
guarantee that he won't know the terms.
Try, test them out on
That's what
test
I'm
them out
saying.
on it.
You
I want
got
to
to bring
see.
something that you think I don't know, and then we go from there. Because I mean, yeah, that's the only way you're gonna know how I'm gonna break it down, basically. But yeah, other than that, I don't see how you're gonna do that, basically. So yeah,
I'll give you another example. Hold on. Did somebody say something?
no,
No, it's on you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll give you another example. Hold on. Let me get something.
I mean, I could say, for instance, if you look at Tartaria and the Giants, okay, well, the Giants, okay, logic tells me that we see the buildings with all these big entrances that suggest that we didn't build them. That's one. And two, they weren't built for us because these doors are gigantic. They're huge, you know what I'm saying? So these are evidence that logically tells you that okay, there was a civilization here or something was here prior to us being here, so to speak. That's logic. That's how you're breaking down logic. If you understand, despite the fact that Google might say, "Oh, black people been here 10,000, 30,000 billion years ago." You know what I'm saying? Unless they're talking about the Tartarian civilization, then fair enough. The giants, then fair enough. But other than that, you gotta break and you gotta make that known. Then, if that's the case, if you understand what I'm saying. But yes, black people were here first, and we were giants before we came along. That's just logic. Again.
That's what you call logic?
Oh yeah, you're using logic to break stuff down. So therefore, whatever they're telling you, it's not like you're just saying, yeah, just like what they did in the classroom where they gave us every kind of thing and we just soaked it up. No, this time we're adults now, so we question. Especially if we feel that there's something not adding up.
Yeah, but how do you know that the conclusion that you're drawing is always correct? Especially if it's case by case.
Well, it's based on the information. So, like I said, a simple question. Do I believe there was giants that walked before us? I will say yes. Why do you say yes? Because of the buildings, basically. The pyramid, the Great Wall of China, all of these things. These are evidence that there was other beings here before us.
Have
Not
you ever
other
heard of,
beings, but our ancestors were here as giants before we came along.
have you ever heard of a murder mystery?
Of who?
Murder mystery.
Yeah.
So you've heard of, let's say, murder cases where maybe the body was not found, but they claim that the person was murdered. Have you ever heard of a case like that?
Well, what's that? What's it, CIS or whatever they call them? That program.
So I want you to apply your logic here. So, like, if you know, if I accuse Humble of, you know, unaliving somebody, but we can't find the body, did Humble do it or not?
If you accuse Humble of unaliving
Someone,
somebody,
yeah.
well, that would depend on where Humble was, where the murder took place, whether you can tie Humble to the vicinity of the crime, you know, all those type of things. Yeah, and then you go.
Yeah, but what about the body?
Fingerprints.
Do you need the body?
Well, I mean,
because
if
I say he unalived my brother, how would you know that that's true? How would you know that my brother's not in Tahiti, you know, somewhere sipping Mai Tais?
Hey, this stuff, like I said, again, you need fingerprints, XYZ, and again, unless there's evidence like blood or something like that, basically that they find on the scene or on somebody's clothes or something that ties them to the scene, then there's no way of finding out basically what happened.
So did he do it or not? Are you am I allowed, or is he getting arrested and charged for murder or not?
Well, then that would depend on his whereabouts, like I said, and what he says, and so on and so. I mean, there's got to be a lot of different scenarios that will have to be taken into consideration before a conclusion will be taken. But ideally, you're going to need a body because that's where you're going to get the maximum sentence. But the rest is just circumstantial. Then you're going to just be, clutching at straws. So therefore, you're not going to get a maximum sentence. If you are going to get a sentence, it's going to be something like, if you do get one. But I mean, yeah, that all depends on evidence.
So you only have minimum evidence, and you still have no body. What using your logic? What is supposed to happen? What do we do with him?
Like I said, you use the evidence.
You're gonna let him go free, and then while you're figuring out this, you're gonna let him go free, or you're gonna have him in custody.
I'm saying you're gonna use the evidence that you have to draw your conclusion.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, you have limited evidence. I'm telling you, you have limited evidence. You could, let's say you have evidence that he was at the location. Like what is that going to do for you? How is that going to help you?
Not much, but I mean, it's something to go on.
Yeah, but what are we going to do with him? So are we holding him or are we letting him go?
I mean, you can't hold him on that. You have to bail him. In other words, you gotta let him go, but you gotta keep him close so that while investigations are going on, so to speak.
So you're gonna have to rule out that if you never come up with any more evidence that he's gonna be a free man, right? You have to either stop that or have that as an option. Because if you don't get any more evidence, what do you do? All you get is that, let's say, 2 pieces of evidence and you get nothing else for a year. So he's just going to be walking around free? maybe 2
Well,
years. You
yeah.
have
I mean,
no more
if you're
evidence.
going on the fairness, I mean, again, you're going into law and all that stuff. That's
No,
beyond
I'm
what
asking
we're
you
talking
about your
about.
logic. You don't
Well,
need to
yeah.
know law. Yes, I'm asking you. I'm not talking about the law. I'm asking you in your logical system. What should we do? Not the law. Just what you say. Your reasoning. How does your
Why would
logic work?
you? Why would you? Anyway, but I mean, it's simple. Like again, like I said, the evidence before you. Is there witnesses? All there's all
No
kinds of different
witnesses.
things.
There are no witnesses, man. Come on.
Well, then I mean, again, like I said, I mean, what
So
put
it looks like
yourself
he's
in
gonna
that
get off.
position. Then.
It looks like he's getting off, or what?
Well, hold on, put yourself in that position, and let's just say they accused you, and there's no witnesses and anything like that, but they're gonna hold you. Are you gonna be happy with that?
Probably not. But I understand
Well,
if they do. I understand
then
if
there
they
you
do.
have your answer.
But I'm asking you about your logic, not mine.
But that's not breaking down. I mean, look, I'm talking
I'm asking
about
you to break
breaking
it
down.
down. That's what I'm telling you. I'm asking you to
Hold
break it
on,
down.
hold on. I'm talking about breaking down history, and all these type of things that have to do with this earth that we live in and how we got here and so on and so forth. That's what I'm talking about. Those type of information is what I'm talking about breaking down logically with what is there, basically, not law and somebody murder and all that type of thing. That's just you have circumstantial, you have like your real evidence and stuff like that. That's
Are you
something
telling me
different.
your logic is not able to handle this? Because that's what it sounds like.
Well, no, I mean, anywhere you go is going to be the same. But like I said, I'm talk when I say logic, it's more breaking down writings,
Writing.
writings of history, whether it's biblical, geographical, whatever, you know what I'm saying, scientific writings.
Oh,
That's
it
what
has
I'm
to be.
talking about.
It has to be written.
Well,
It
yeah,
has to be
because
written. Okay.
that's what you guys go by, what's written. Ain't that what you go by, what's written?
Not necessarily.
Was Einstein's theory of relativity written before he wrote it down? Before he wrote it down,
It's written down, brother.
it's written down, but who wrote it down? Einstein wrote it down. It wasn't written down before Einstein wrote it down.
Well, before he wrote it down, who else know about his
That's the point I'm
relativity?
making. So something don't have to be true. They don't have to be written down to be classified or labeled as true. Like that. That's why I use Einstein a lot, right? Because a lot of times when Einstein was doing what he was doing and he was making the predictions he was making, doing and even back like Edison and um 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 Newton, the tools that we have now, they didn't have back then. So a lot of equations they was coming up with, they was just theoretical. It wasn't until they was writing them down, they didn't even know the equations they was writing down was absolute until years later, until these people passed away. And then we finally developed the technology to actually study what these people were saying. It was like, oh snaps, they telling the truth. But the amazing part of all of that is, how did they know if they had no way to physically study it? It had to have come from somewhere, right? So can we, is it safe to say that when the mind is in a state of clarity, we can get sparks of enlightenment? That's what history shows, right? And then from those sparks of enlightenment, people who get these write it down. And then that's how we get this information. You see what I'm saying? But um we can most definitely conclude that if something is true or not before we've written down. because even there's things that are written down that are false, right? The Bible, for an example, right? Just because they written the passages of the Bible down centuries and centuries ago, that don't mean that the passages in the Bible are true.
All right. So, Roy,
Yes.
be a witness to this. You see, when Humble was speaking, Humble said we didn't have the tools that we have today. So now, you see, me using my logic, I'm going to give you an example of how I use my logic. I'm going to ask Humble, if we didn't have the tools that we have today, then how did we get all this technology, this free energy, these big buildings, and so on and so forth that we see around us today? How did they come? Because they came before us.
Which buildings? What you talking about?
These big cathedrals and pyramids and all these gigantic
So these things was used by natural resources, stone. Most of them, these things came around during the Stone Age, and when civilizations were using stone. Let's make no mistake about it. Why the pyramids are different than the mounds is because the Cometians built the pyramids because they could, not because they had to. The people that built the mounds built them because they were sacred to them. You see what I'm saying? So we see that they had stone usage of tools, right? But they didn't have telescopes, they didn't have microscopes, they didn't have things to measure waves and things of that nature. So they didn't have those tools. Like even when I'm talking about um Thomas Edison, when I'm talking about Newton, when I'm talking about um Einstein, even in these eras, they did not have the tool. There was no tool for E equals MC squared to measure that when Einstein made that equation. There was no tool to measure relativity when Einstein made that equation. It wasn't until much later that we developed tools to actually prove those theories. That's why they were theories, because we couldn't prove them correct. Those theoretical equations, they were theoretical. The equation of relativity was a theoretical equation until recently, until we had the tools to actually measure if this was an actual fact or not, or if this was something that actually existed in reality or not. You see what I'm saying? So that's how we know, that's how they built those things, because they had toolery, they had stonery, right? But they didn't have the measurement technology, far as measuring waves, far as measuring atoms and protons and neutrons and galaxy. Like they didn't have those tools.
And so, therefore, what did those tools do for you? Because, I mean, as we look today, no, listen, none of those tools can even help them build any, not even one of those buildings that we see today. Not one of them, with all the tools we have today. So, again, Roy, see the
Yeah.
logic
I
there?
wouldn't I wouldn't
It's
agree
just
with that.
I'm using the logic to break down the information
Right, but
in
here's
which.
the but see what Roy Chess was doing earlier, right, is exactly what I'm about to do, right? I'm about to point out the fallacies in your premise, right? Number one, um, you have to understand that you don't need tools. You don't need the tools that we have today. You didn't need them to build the pyramid back in the day. That's a fallacy. Just because they could build a pyramid meant that they could measure an atom. That's again, that's a fallacy. That's not what that means. You see what I'm saying? So you're equating um structural building and stone usage um and certain mathematicals to assume that because they had access to this, they also had access to other information, which we don't have evidence that they had access to.
See, again, I would say what you're saying there is false because it wasn't only stone that these buildings are carved in. It's not just stone, my brothers. It's marble, basically. And even the marble doesn't come from the places where these cathedrals are. They come from miles away.
Is marble
So
not a
they
type
must have
of
had
stone?
better tools, you know what I'm saying, to build, first of all, transport all these marble down to these places and then build these magnificent structures, basically. Man,
So I have a
that's
question
logic.
for you.
Logic
I have a
tells you.
question for you. Let's see if your logic help you here. Is granite not a type of stone?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So then how can you say they didn't use stone, they used marble, as if marble wasn't a type of stone? That's a fallacy right there.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that one. But at the end of the day, the logic still stays the same. They had better tools than we do today because if we did, we'll be building better structures than we are doing today. And that's just logic. Logic alone will tell you that. I mean, come on. You're not going to argue that fact, are you?
I would say they had tools. They clearly had certain tools back then that we today didn't understand. Sometimes we like there's a method about their cutting the stone, right? They say they use sunlight, and which is a logical explanation when we get to the accuracy in the cutting of the right angles of the stone. Right now, that's logical. But now, because they use sunlight, water, and chisels to cut the stone accurately, does this mean that they had advanced technology that we don't have today? Absolutely not. You see what I'm saying? Like, no, we have much better technology today. You see what I'm saying? Now, what they did do was they utilized what they did have more precisely than we do today. That's something I can say, right? And the reason I say this is because when we build structures today, we build them off of stability. Okay, that's cool, right? But when they built structures in Kemet, they built them off of um foundational elemental um
Oh,
structuring, so to speak, right? So if I can give an example, when they built the temple of Ma'at, they didn't just build a temple and it was like, okay, this is the temple of Ma'at. They used the mathematic precision that goes along with Ma'at to build Ma'at, to build the temple of Ma'at. In that way, the very temple of Ma'at is Ma'at itself. That's the difference in the structures back then and the structures now. We can have a cathedral today, right? But we won't say that that cathedral is literally the embodiment of God because it was built with the sacred geometry and mathematics of God. No, we wouldn't say that. We'll say the temple is or the cathedral is a cathedral to God, is a place where people come to worship God, but the cathedral isn't God itself. It wasn't used with the mathematics of God to build the structure. It was just used, you know, to go and worship God. That's the difference. So again, when we try to say because they had access to stones, meaning they had access to other advanced technology, again, that's a fallacy.
Well, I'll say to you, humble, that you are not schooled when it comes down to the Tartarian knowledge and the Tartarian civilization, because you've made two essential errors. first by saying that we have far better technology than they do, and then the second one was uh, um, the stones and stuff that they cut are what foundational, whatever it is that you saying that they're doing today. I don't see that because again, you talking about these stones. Listen, the technology that you first and foremost, let's deal with that. The technology that we have today is all based on the technology they had then. Everything we have today, they had then and more. The internet, they
What?
had it then and more. They had scooters, electric scooters. They had cycles, electric bicycles. They had unicycles. They had all kinds of different. What do you call that one? The one you skate in the air. Them hoverboards. They had all of those type of things going basically, and they had
Where?
free
Where they have hoverboards at in history? Please show me a time period. We need this.
energy.
Never, they never did. They never did. They never did.
But I also want to know, um, when we're speaking about Tartaria, right? As you keep mentioning and bringing up, right? I want to know where in history did these people reign? Where is the evidence in history that these people reign in certain locations?
Well, listen, we're talking about the petrified mountains. You think these mountains are mountains? No, these are giant trees, which
No,
they
no,
cut
no.
down.
Don't go off the course, Brody. Stick with the
Um,
Tartaria thing.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about because everything was big. You know what I'm saying? Our
Oh, you
trees
think
were big.
Tartarians are giants?
Correct.
How big was these giants? Oh, were these the giants that were in the Bible that the Bible speak of?
Well, I mean, logic will tell you that yes, those were the giants, and that was us.
Oh, I see where you come. Y'all Christians gotta come out of hiding, bro. Y'all
I ain't
come
no
on
Christian,
out of
my brother.
hiding, bro.
I
What's
am
up
not
with
no
y'all,
Christian.
man?
Like I said to you, listen, there's evidence all over the world, basically, about these giants, the heads. Go and you see, this is
You
I
know,
don't know if you
Hold
your
on
work for me.
one second, Kojo, real fast. Let me introduce the brother Jose. We got the brother Jose on the panel. What
what's
it
up?
do,
What's
brother
up?
Jose? How you doing, Brody?
Good, good, good. You do know, in order to acknowledge those giants, you have to acknowledge that there was supernatural being called angels that bred with humans. Because those giants were half angel and half human. They were not
You
fully
heard him
human.
say logically they were the same as the giants in the Bible. So he must believe that those giants was the produce or progenitors of angels. He must believe that. And if he
No,
believed that,
no,
then
no, no, no.
he's a
He don't.
Christian.
We know he don't. We could tell that the brother clearly is not familiar with a lot of the literature that we're talking about because he's really just talking. He is, and we know he's just talking when he's gonna agree to that, just like that,
My
because he's
man Jose
agreeing.
talking about taking the
He's
shot.
agreeing to a biblical story. And yes, the fact of the matter is they do have giants today. There's a such thing as medical gigantism. Shaq is medically a giant. That has nothing to do with any biblical story. They
Mm-hmm.
have they're people who have certain disorders that cause them to grow that way.
Mm-hmm.
And like Andre the Giant had a disorder that caused him to never stop growing, and eventually it killed him. That is what he died of. That disorder killed him. He was in pain all the time, and nobody understood that.
Yeah.
So that has nothing to do with any biblical thing. That is a disorder. I believe it's a pituitary gland disorder. We can explain that. And there probably are people who were in excess of 8 feet tall who lived. and they have a genetic explanation for that. They don't stop growing. They have this overactive pituitary gland that makes them continue growing, sometimes and sometimes forever.
Right.
Sometimes it overstimulates growth, like Shaq, and he just stops at a certain point. But the others who Andre the Giant, that's what killed him. He
Mm-hmm.
died from that disease.
Right.
So, and to answer the other query, they recognize that the people of ancient Kemet did trial and error because they found the bent pyramid alongside the other beautiful pyramids that we have there. They found one that's bent. So they know that they tried, though initially when they tried, it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Tell
came
them
back.
about it, Jose. Get
And
into
it
it.
might be, if I'm not mistaken, it might be more than one pyramid like that. But they have at
Yeah.
least one that was bent. They call it the
You got
bent
the
pyramid.
bent pyramid, you got the step pyramid. So when you look at Kemet and you look at that pyramidal system, you realize that their pyramids happened in stages. And the previous pyramid or the later pyramid always is a step more civilized than the previous pyramid. So first we have the bent
Right.
pyramid, then we got the step pyramid, then we got the great pyramid, right? Which when we look at these pyramids, we see each one upgrade structurally and more stably. So we
Right.
see them learning how to build these things. It wasn't one day magically they just learned how to build them and they started building them. No, so that was a great point, brother Jose. Let me drop your bomb for that, Brody.
Thank you. But we need to we also need to understand pyramid is an insult to the architecture. It's called a
It's
merkut.
called a Merkut. I appreciate
Right. A
it. Yeah.
pyramid was some type of European rice cracker or some type of madness like that. Then we also understand that when you look at, I think the book is called The Rock Tombs of Mier, you realize that they were mixing mortar and actually putting it onto these statues to make these statues when they show you them building these statues in the book.
Mm-hmm.
They show you them rolling up balls of something that obviously man-made and mixing certain things. So we know that they have plasters and mortars and other things that they were mixing together
Wow.
to build up these statues. It wasn't all of them were not necessarily just natural limestone and things like that. They show you. Have you ever seen that book, Humble, The Rock Tombs of Mier?
No. Who wrote that book?
I'm not sure, but if you go and download it,
What
you'll
is
see
called?
the Rock Tombs of Mier. It's about
How you spell it? Rock Tombs?
oh gosh, I really don't know. You're probably gonna have to just ask it because I really don't. I'm not sure how to spell it, which is bad. Right.
Hold
It's
on. Maybe it'll get it.
what you do. It's about Pepe Ankem. It talks about Pepe Ankem, who was actually and what his name actually meant because the Kem was actually part of his name. So it's
Peppy
basically
Kim?
Pepe Ankh Kem. So Smash was actually going over it because when there was some video about a woman in the museum trying to say that he was a servant, and the term Kem meant servant, but in actuality, he was and his family were high ranking, and Kem appeared in his name. That was part of his name. So basically, we call him Pepe the Black.
Mm.
And when you look at it, was actually his name was in a Shenu, and the Kem was actually part of his name. They tried to say that was a nickname or something of the sort, but that was part of his proper name. And they
Oh, are
had
you
others
talking
with the
about
name
the
Kem on it.
per?
Say it again?
Are you talking about the per?
No. This was a man whose name was Pepe Ankh Kem.
No, I'm saying so there's a text called the Per Unk, right, which tells the story of Pepe and his life. Hold on, let me get into it. It tells
No.
this.
That's the Nasut you're talking about.
Got you. Okay.
Pepe Ankh Kem was part of a family where that name, where that was his name, and then they had the one who was in a called Pepe the Younger and Pepe in the Middle, and it was a whole thing about that. But
Okay.
they were royalty. I don't know if they were born royalty or if they were adopted royalty, but and it shows you them building these monuments, and it shows you the names, and it breaks down all of the different titles that they have. So what I'm gonna do the next time I come on, I'm gonna get a proper spelling because I don't even know
My
if I could
man.
find.
Okay.
I don't even know if I could. I don't even know if I could find the book in my library. I think it's MEIR.
MEIR.
Yeah, I think that's it. And it's 4 volumes of the book, and it talks about these and and it talks about these words. They have pictures and glyphs and different things of the words and they show them building monuments and statues and how they were,
You
putting
know,
things
it's
on the
funny.
back and putting things on the front.
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
So I think it's about 4 or 5 volume sets.
Okay.
And they actually show you them building the monuments in the tomb.
Yeah, you know, it's funny.
Mm.
To me, I it's kind of it's like listening to you guys. I now see that you guys, as far as this information is concerned, you guys are not ready. You're learning still. That's what you're doing. You're not really up there yet when it comes to it. Because if dude here is giving you
Oh, he
all
throwing
this
his
Kemet
shot.
stuff, you get what I'm saying, and you're swallowing it up like it's the
So
be all and
prove
end
me
all.
so
Then to me,
prove me
that says
so
to me
prove me
that you
wrong.
guys really
So prove me
nah,
wrong that he
Hold
didn't
on,
have
Jose.
so
Let him land his
no
plane,
disrespect,
Jose. You
but
gonna
you
get in
guys
there,
keep
man.
on learning, man. But one day you get to a level where you will understand that nah, all of that stuff there that you're talking about is nonsensical, so to speak. It's not real. It's
so
not
how
part
could
of
it
the history.
how could
Let's
it
let
be
Jose get in there. Get it in there, Jose.
how could it be nonsensical when you could actually find primary text and facsimiles of the text and reproduction of the text that actually say what I just said? I didn't make it up. They translated
Oh
that
no,
from
of
text.
course you didn't make it up. I know that you're following Google. You're following the European thought, which is what you're
No, no,
regurgitating.
no,
We
sir.
understand that.
No, sir. No,
Well,
sir.
I understand that.
I actually read the text and translation of text and try to understand what the glyphs mean. You don't do that, so you should stop talking and stop trying to act like you know so much. Talking
Hold on,
about the
Jose. You
African and like you don't need and like you don't even know your own culture. Like you don't know your own culture. Just talking. That's not cool. You can't do that. You can't come on here and just talk and try to insult people. You
no,
haven't
sir.
quoted one
I ain't
text
trying
yet,
to insult you, Jose. Come on, man.
but you haven't quoted one text yet. And if I could share my screen, I would take you to some of the text and show you that. But I can't share my screen. But I'm quoting.
Jose.
You haven't quoted one text yet. You haven't quoted a
Jose.
text.
We've been talking for hours now. I haven't insulted anyone, but you alone come along and say I'm insulting you. Come
You
on.
did.
Let's not
You
try
did.
and use the
You
don't
did.
try and sway the
You did.
conversation with
No,
that
you
type
did.
of lingo.
You did
No,
insult.
use
No,
the
no, no.
information
You did insult
that
me.
I'm talking about to kind of, you know what I'm saying, break. All I'm
But you,
saying is that,
but
look,
you did insult me.
no, I did not. I'm saying that, listen, I now
Yeah, you did.
understand. Okay, if I did, I apologize.
No, 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 no,
But
no.
I'm
Don't
just saying
apologize
that you
because you meant it.
misunderstood me,
No, no, no.
Jose.
I speak English very well, and I heard what you said, and it was a condescending tone that I don't appreciate.
Okay,
You don't know
so
what
I'm
I
saying
said. No,
to
no,
you,
no, no,
I
no, no,
didn't mean
no.
it
Don't
like that.
apologize. Stand on
No,
what you said.
I'm
Hold
not doing
on
that.
one
I'm just saying.
second, y'all. 1 second, y'all. I want to just give a quick shout out to the people who rocking with us in the comments. We see you, Jay Snakes. We see you down there. She said, "What's up, Goddess?" We see Hey Goddess talking about hoverboards. Look at her down there, yo. Goddess be keeping the chat active. We appreciate you, Goddess. We appreciate your engagement. Also, I want to give a shout out to brother Suave Boss. You know, we streaming to his channel. We appreciate that brother, hard working, very intellectual, very funny a person now on YouTube. He keep you entertained, he keep you wanting to watch. Always thinking what's the next thing that's gonna come out of his mouth. Great brother right there. Once again, I want to give a big shout out to the brother A1 just for allowing us to have this space and have this freedom on a platform that he built from the ground up with his own sweat, blood, and tears. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the brother. And with that, I want to go to a word from our sponsors, y'all. Let's get it. Hold on, let me get that. I done scrolled up too far. Let's get it.
This Saturday, March 14th, the Battle of Truth, the clash of intellects, Leandre McBride versus Elder Yara. Can Elder Yara, the seasoned veteran with decades of debate experience, prove he's an Israelite using only scripture? Or will Leandre, the brilliant PhD scholar, dismantle his claim with razor-sharp logic and scholarly precision? It's a high-stakes debate where faith meets knowledge and history is on the line. Two giants, one question. Can Elder Yara prove his Israelite identity through the word? This is a battle you don't want to miss. Tune in to Titans Debate League and witness the ultimate war of words. Who's got the facts? Who will leave the other in the dust? The countdown to the debate begins now. Coliseum of arguments. Only the brave speak here. Are you not entertained? Amazing news! At Titans Debate League is now looking for interns. We are expanding our team and seeking driven individuals who are ready to make an impact. We're on the hunt for talented people to join our marketing team, a charismatic new host, and creative minds who can produce amazing content. If you have a positive attitude and are used to winning, because that's what we do here, then we want to hear from you. Join us and contribute to a culture of excellence and success here at Titans Debate League. Email us today, titansdebateleague@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Where Infinity Gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess, build and destroy the cipher. Intellectual sword to slice you, or whatever device you recommend. Surgical precise pen, hand get heated, the room will spin. If man get treated, them goals gon' spin. Level heads with feet, paradigm the box you in. Got a pair of red dimes in the box you in. Don't matter paradigms, your clock won't spin. Hear the sounds of the trumpets, start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we're stopping. It's the clash of the Tigers. Hear the sounds of the trumpets, start the rounds in the gauntlet.
All right. We back at it, y'all. Hold on one second. I'm over here chopping it up with my brother on the other joint. You know, we over there talking business too. Over at the homeland of BIGO. You know what I'm saying? Come on through as well. You know, if y'all ever feel inspired, most definitely download it. Y'all could catch me over there when I'm not over here. You know, putting that game down, spitting that information. You know, over there is a more comfy place. So, you know, we over there, we kick our shoes off, we chill back, we eat our popcorn, and you know, we talk our trash and have our fun and laugh our guts out. You know what I'm saying? So.
Can you put a link in the back?
Huh?
Can you put a link in the back?
A link?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a link for it?
Comments on the private chats.
Oh yeah. The private chat, either or. I mean, but the private chat I would like for sure.
All right, I got you. Hold on, give me 1 second.
I'll check it out.
While we doing this, let's
man. Shout out again, like you said, to Suave Boss and A1. Yes, man. Keep it coming. We out.
No, we're not exiting out. You know, sometimes we be going for a while, and I just got some ads up in there. You see what I'm saying? Just to keep the show entertaining. You feel me?
Did A1
right.
fall asleep,
Right.
Humble?
Huh?
Did A1 fall asleep again?
I'm not sure. A1 might be here. A1, bro, do you here?
I'm sure he fell asleep again.
Oh, he probably fell asleep again. Hey, listen, you know,
know he did.
sometimes I get in my mode. Y'all know how I am. Listen, definitely when I see some good conversation, I get in my mode. And once I get in my mode, I don't even worry about that. Listen, we in this lane right here. We try and get it.
Yeah. He's somewhere there, right?
Yeah.
He'll jump in when he wake up, right?
When he wake up, he most definitely a jump in. I'm trying to get to this link so I can share it in the back chat for y'all. Um, I actually might just have to. What I'm gonna do is,
So Roy Test is
Hey,
the
let me
philosophical
just say
man on the
quickly
panel.
though that the hoverboard thing, I got that from Back to the
Yes.
Future, man. I was only playing, man.
you funny, Brody. You funny, Kojo. Of course, Brody. Hey, listen. I want to also say this, right? I also want to make this known too. Um, hey, man, this is a tough environment. You see what I'm saying? We Titans over here. Matter of fact, let me even get to this. This what we do over here, right? We stand in these coliseums and we go head to head. We stand on our squares, but after the dust settle and clears, we brothers, we sisters, we rock out, you know what I'm saying? We have good times. This is what we do. This is how we have fun. And I want to show the generation that come after us, right? There's more to life than just dribbling the ball or rapping a lyric. You see what I'm saying? We can have fun in other ways than hanging out on the corners and just following bad examples. You can now sit in a house and you can gather some valuable information, some practical information that you could take out here in life and you can utilize. You see what I'm saying? So most definitely I want y'all to really, the ones on the panel, I want y'all to really gain a grasp that what you're doing right now is not going unnoticed. You see what I'm saying? Hey, there may be some people next week that come and check out this video and be like, dang, that man Kojo was cooking. You see what I'm saying? That boy Roy Chess was over there doing this thing. You see what I'm saying? So we appreciate y'all, man. We most definitely really do. Definitely you, brother Roy Chess. I appreciate you, Brody.
No problem. I'm just trying to share options, and I would like to get certain information out so that people can improve their thinking, their reasoning skills.
You
Yes,
know you
sir.
can't teach people common sense, right? Some people just it just don't
You're
happen.
funny,
It's not a
Jose.
personal
You're
thing.
funny, man, Jose.
No, you can't teach people common sense. You just can't. You can't.
Well, there's some people I can't reach probably, but I have hope that
You just
maybe
have to
out of
do
100, maybe 10. If it's more than that, that's great.
it.
You know
Yeah.
Do
what?
it, man. Just do it. You get it.
You know what? You know what, Ray Chess? You did
The
when you did
power
that
of
seven.
thought, the power of thinking, manifestation. That's what I was saying to you guys. Logic. You use the brain, you get a lot done.
Yes, we hear you, but we're
You did.
still gonna challenge you, Coach Cujo,
Would you-
that I think you should dive deeper into some of these texts. You should just say something. You need to dive deeper into some of these primary texts or close to primary texts. And I think you'll start to see more pointless there. Because I could tell you haven't made an attempt to read any text from ancient times.
All
I know
right.
you have.
Hey, brother Roy Chess, I'm putting the link in the I'm putting the link in the private chat. If you have access to the private chat, just go back there, click on this, and this is my joint on BIGO.
Okay, I'll check it out. Hold on.
All right. So for all of y'all, matter of fact, I can also put this in the regular comments as well. So if y'all want to go, check it out, download the app, come check us out on BIGO. Once again, man, shout out to the brother Suave Boss, man. He did an amazing job in his previous debate against Quantum. Quantum also did an amazing job. Hey, man, one thing I want to say about brother Suave Boss, I said this the other day, but his comedy niche in this debate arena, that's a really strong niche to have, and I don't see it being easily defeated. You see what I'm saying? Because it's something out of the ordinary. Not everybody have it. And brother Suave Boss wittiness really catch you off guard, bro. It's amazing to watch. He really have a skill for that type of debate that he bring. And it's really entertaining to watch. And if y'all can, I don't hold on one second. When I come back, I'm trying to put my phone in the charger. Let me see if I can see this real quick. Okay, yeah. So Argument League Black Nation. If you're in the comments, go check out Argument League Black Nation. You know, that's the brother Suave Boss. You know. All right. I sent it in the comments. I sent it in the back chat. So if y'all want to go check that out, go ahead. And we're gonna get back to it. Who we have? We got brother Jose in the back. Brother Jose, you want to get in there? We actually going on 2 hours. We actually going on 3 hours, y'all. So I think I'm actually about ready to shut it down.
All right, man. Just I'm very thankful for
Most definitely. Before I
participation.
shut it
So,
down, though, hold on 1 second. Before I shut it down, though, I do want to get everybody closing remarks. You see what I'm saying? Hold on, let me do this really fast. Let me put my backdrop up here. So if I can find it, what's going on here? Why I can't find my stuff? Oh, here you go, right here. I got it, y'all. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I want each of y'all to give y'all closing remarks. Starting with Roy Chess. Go ahead, brother Roy Chess.
Yeah, well, again, thank you for the time and the platform. A1 and Humble, you guys have been so kind to let certain people come up here and give their views and thoughts. And this it's underappreciated because a lot of panels, like I said, they gatekeep. So there's no, I don't know if there's gatekeeping over here, but there's not that. It's not so obvious as other platforms. But this is a very friendly platform from what I see. Now there are others, but this one is very nice, and I think that it's just going to get better. I think that people are doing presentations here to get certain knowledge out, and that's allowed. And people could take what they want with those presentations and do what they want with them. But a lot of other channels are not doing that. So I think you're going to get more as far as debate stuff and debate topics and debate tactics here than just random, just presentations about anything. Most of the presentations are relevant to debate topics or tactics of debate. So it's a very good platform to get new information. If you just don't want to hear about debates, you want to learn more about it. If you're just starting out, because a lot of people are just starting out here. A couple of people started out here, right on Humble. This is their first, like Quantum. It was his first debate. Yeah. There's another person, I can't remember their name, that was their first debate. So like if the other leagues have maybe more experience and stuff like that, they've been around longer, but you can get your start here, and it's easy to do, right? So that's a blessing. So I appreciate the platform. I do still want to make some more contributions. If anybody will have it, it's up to you what you do with it. I want to bring some things that you probably haven't heard, you're not used to, as far as debate and reasoning, right. And that's my thing. So I thank you for the platform to even have me be able to do that.
Almost definitely. And I just want to add a quick thing in real quick. Brother Roy Chess, no, mean this with no ill malice. You see what I'm saying? I mean this with all love, bro, all love. I kind of envy you a little bit, Brody, because I feel like we kind of switched spots. You see what I'm saying? Because when I first came, that's what you was doing was what I wanted to do. And I thought you would be doing what I'm doing. I'm like, dang, man, but everybody know I often say love being a host, love the opportunity to be in a host. But everybody that know Humble Mystic, y'all know I'm a dog. Y'all know I love to get in that arena. So when I be up here hosting, man, I do want y'all to know I do be restraining a lot just because I do want to remain unbiased. I know sometimes here and there I do get in there and challenge the information, but that's just the natural debater in me, the natural intellect in me. But man, I love when I watch, man, y'all be amping me. Is I swear it's like watching NBA finals, man, when y'all go at it because it hyped me up to yeah, okay, get it. Like I want to do that. I want to be like that. So man, y'all be doing your thing. Y'all be doing your thing for real. And so I just wanted to give you them flowers right there, brother Roy Chess.
Thank you.
No problem, no problem. We gonna move on to brother Jose.
Yeah. Just want to say, good conversation. You guys have a good night. I'm getting old and I need to go lay down and sleep, right? So I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, brother. All right, brother. We appreciate you, brother. You know we appreciate you, Hey,
Yeah,
Jose
man.
about to be my uncle for real. Listen, y'all going to think I'm just saying Uncle Jose, and I'm really calling Jose my uncle because he really give off uncle vibes. That's really my Uncle Jose for real.
That's
Yo.
why I changed the name. That's why I changed the name.
That is
Actually, you made me change the name, huh?
mm-hmm.
All right, man.
Listen.
Later.
All right, bro. I appreciate you. We going to move right on to brother Kojo.
Yes, I. Yes, I. Peace, 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 peace. Listen, respect utmost. Yeah, man. Suave boss, A1, humble. Yeah, man. Charlie, everything is up and running. So yeah, we're gonna keep it that way. Good conversation. Also, can't forget the ladies that came through and had the conversation. Yeah, man. We appreciate you. We might agree to disagree, but my thing is always, use your whether you call it logic, whatever it is, but always check the information. And yeah, with that, I just say respect.
Most definitely. And brother, I gotta most definitely give you respect for coming in here, standing on your square, Brody, doing your thing, not backing down, being really understanding, right? Being willing to actually listen to the other party, not going off the hinges, not using profanity, really keeping self-control. Those are some great skills, brother, and just keep on improving, bro. Keep on improving. Let's get it. I
Up
appreciate
and
you.
running, up and running, up and running.
Most definitely, most definitely. All right. Last but not least, y'all know who it is. It's your brother Humble Mystic in the building, man. This was an amazing show tonight. In my opinion, we started off the day a little rocky. But we had some new people over here in the space. They really don't operate in this space. This was their first time, so they didn't know how everything happens. But sometimes you trust the process. Not even sometimes, all the time. Trust the process. And when you trust the process and you going through the motions and you really getting into it, then you come away with something beautiful like we had tonight. This is the very definition. This panel right here is the very definition of turning chaos into order. Because I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I was a little bit stumped early. I didn't know what to do. It was all off. Hey, it was not what we planned. But because we had some amazing people come on up here, and because of the amazing advice of the boss man himself, brother A1, man, listen, we got this thing back on track. We got it rolling. We got some amazing people like brother Kojo up on the panel, coming in here, hitting the streets, hitting the scene hard with his facts and standing on his square. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's what we always love to see. I want to just call out some appreciations. We got Milk Dug, we got Milk Dug. We want to appreciate you for always engaging in the comments, always coming through, checking out the live, supporting the live, sharing, subscribing, liking, thumbing up. We can't run without you. We appreciate you. Of course, brother Suave Boss. I want to appreciate the brother for always showing up, always being here, always supporting, never giving less than 100%. We got Sister Weathers here. Yes, ma'am. I do utilize holistic practice. That's actually a live that we can get to, sister, if you still in here. But we got Sister Fatima. I want to appreciate you too, sister, for always, coming through, engaging in the comments, letting us know that you here and we see you, and let us love on you a little bit. We got brother Jay Snakes. What up? What up? We got Sister Hey Goddess, And so I just wanted to give y'all some shouts out just to let y'all know we appreciate y'all. We see y'all. We care about y'all. keep doing what y'all do, because it's the reason that y'all do what y'all do is the reason we're able to do what we do. You know what I'm saying? Until next time, tighten out. Y'all know how I'm about to end this off with this. Matter of fact, let me actually go back here too. Right? Of course, we gotta give a big shout out to Brother Ill Doctrine, always supporting in the biggest way, in the most logical way he could see fit. So, you know, we gotta shout out to Brother Ill Doctrine for the super chats. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. And I just want to let you know that your work is not going null and void, brother. I most definitely appreciate you. We know Brother A1 definitely appreciate you. And the brothers on the panel, brothers and sisters on the panel, most definitely appreciate you. So with that, we're going to put on our exit song and we're going to rock out. You know, tighten out, Brother Humble Mystic. Let's get it.
Family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family. We might have the same last name, but that don't make you my family. I got some people with the same blood, and I know that they can't stand me. I got some people I call that ain't kin, that's gonna pull up and handle it. They take care of that business like family. We come from them trenches like family. They talking, you listen, that's family. They don't tell your business, that's family. They calling your phone, coming looking for you. They say that you missing, that's family. They don't need permission, that's family. When you hurt, they can feel it, that's family. Let them come while you're cheering, that's family. Let them come when you living, that's family. Family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family. Hey, ain't nobody fighting around here. Ain't nobody shooting around here. Everybody that's around here, family. All love, no